What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Playbook, where we talk about all things real estate. I'm your man, Lance Williard, and I can't wait to introduce my next guest. She hails from Brazil, but now lives in Chicago, Illinois. She has over 2 decades worth of experience as a real estate investor. She has 10 plus years coaching investors, founder and CEO of Premier Investor, which helps families secure homes without traditional loans. CEO and co-founder of Dream House, which refurbishes, sells, and leases homes in the U.S. and Brazil. She's known for her find buyers first approach, which is securing buyers before sourcing deals, a child ambassador for World Vision, and a published author. And last but not least, she's a fellow Owners Club member. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Iva Norris.
Awesome. Awesome introduction. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on. How are you doing today?
Doing amazing, Lance. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited.
I'm excited as well. Doing the research, you got a lot of things you've done and moved around, and I can't wait to hear your journey.
Wow, it's big journey, right?
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you want to know?
Hey, let's start from the beginning. What? I guess a little bit of background about you, and then as well as what got you into real estate.
Okay, so yes, as you already said, I am Brazilian. Moved to America in 2001. I got married with an American man in Brazil. Moved to Atlanta, Georgia, without English, money, or credit. So, and I had to learn buy properties. Why? Because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad as everybody else. And then I did have this dream of buying properties. So when I got in Georgia, I was pregnant and I was watching TV, what a pregnant woman does, right? Watching TV. And I saw infomercial about how to buy properties without money. I said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking for. So sure enough, I got the program. $300 later, arrive at home, and I start to do line by line for the script because, as I said, my English was really poor, and was crazy and tedious because was like line by line. That was perfect for me because that's not the way I need it, and I just have to read. And the problem is when the seller responds, right? So, oh my gosh, what he's talking.
Yeah.
Anyways, it was a challenge at the beginning, but after 3 years, I had bought 28 properties without
Wow.
any of my own money. That was amazing.
So
Actually, my first buyer for the first property that I purchased, and I didn't know how to write in English, right?
gotcha.
Speaking was a little bit, but didn't know. So I asked him to fill up the contract. And he looked at me and said, really? If you
Yeah.
want the house, that's what you have to do. My English is not that good. I can't do it. He said, okay. He did it. Was fun. Yeah. So that's
This was
right.
before Chat GPT, huh?
Oh yeah. With ChatGPT it would be a lot easier, right? But
Right.
I was the kind of person that I was with all the contracts and sheets in my trunk, signs, everything. I was prepared. So I got a property on the contract. I put the sign in the yard right away. No waiting. And so after that, we have the GFC, global financial crisis. So where
Okay.
we luckily we sold most of our properties because we're planning to get into a multifamily. But because of the situation, we decided not to do anything because we didn't know how we're gonna get in a new strategy if we don't know what's going on with the economy, right? Then we decided not to do, and this time we moved to Brazil. And in Brazil, I created 3 Century 21 agencies
Okay.
in 3 years. Go figure. It's just like, why
Wow.
three? Why not one at a time? No, three.
Yeah. Hey, I'm starting to see a pattern here with this 3 number.
Exactly, exactly. That's true. Three and three, because I had to recreate myself in every 3 years. That's the problem. So stay in Brazil for 3.5 years, then move to Australia. In Australia, I also have to recreate myself. And I thought that I'm going to do what I did in Georgia, right? Buy properties, do creative finance. No, because the average price of the properties in Australia, they are $1 million. So then I said, no, not gonna happen. How am I gonna do this, right?
Right. Right.
So I had to create a situation where I would partner with the sellers with the homeowners to develop their land. I would put 2 properties in their land. They get 1 and I get 1. So that worked very well because in Australia, at least in Melbourne, 70% of the population, they own their homes free and clear.
Wow.
And they are like elderly people that they are like for 30 years in their homes. They don't want to move because they have the families and neighbors, but they cannot afford to fix up their houses because I'm not sure if it's the same here in America. The pension plan was really little, so they can hardly afford to pay their bills, right? So then was a win-win because they had no chance. They didn't want to move, but they couldn't fix the house. Voila, I'm here helping these families to stay where they are with a brand new home. They don't have to
Wow.
worry about their lives, living in a house for the rest of their lives. So that was amazing. And I wrote the book. That's the book that you told about. Unlock the cash in your backyard without spending any of your own money. So that was
Yeah.
what I was doing in Australia.
What made you move to Australia?
My ex-husband now, we're married at the time, and then he got an offer and we moved there because he
Oh,
had
okay.
other options. He had like Pakistan, China, and I said, no, 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 let's go to Australia. So that was the best option. That's why Australia, better than the
Okay.
other options.
All right. All right. Yeah, that was just interesting going from Brazil to Atlanta, back to Brazil, back to Australia. It's like, what makes you want to move to these places? But okay,
Now
that
it
makes sense.
explains, right? Yeah. So,
Yep.
and then the same thing happened. We are in Australia, and then he got an offer to come to Dallas, Texas. So then moved to Texas, and if you make the math, we are about 10 years away from America. That means no credit,
Yep.
nothing, right? You start all
Yep.
from the scratch and no money. We definitely we had a challenges like my ex had health challenges and without job for a while. Then we don't have much money when we came back to America. Start over again. I stay 1 entire year looking to purchase a property. So when I was doing that, like through door knocking, cold calling, drive for dollar, yellow letters, everything. And I couldn't get any deal. So then I thought I have to figure out what to do. And because I had created a system in Brazil to sell my lots, because while in Australia, I purchased 100 lots and then I would sell in installments. And that's what we're doing. And to sell those lots, I did a Facebook Marketplace campaign
Okay. Yeah.
where I sold all the lots in 3 months. And I said,
Wow.
that's incredible. And then I remember that when I came to Texas, I said, I'm going to do the same thing I did in Brazil. Of course, the price is different, right? So then did my research and what it would take for me to get my ads up and running, to get sellers knocking on my door and not the other way around because I was really tired and not getting anything anyways. So then after 6 months, I was able to create a system where I would get the sellers coming to me through Facebook ads, right? So, and like 6 months later, we're getting like 70 leads per month
Okay.
and closing
All
three
right.
to four per month. I said, yeah,
Let's go.
now is good.
Let's go.
Now is good. So then I never look back. No yellow letters, no cold calling, no this type of thing doesn't work for me. Never again. So every time I want, today I work with a third party company. They work only for sellers. That means only marketing for sellers. And I turn on and off whenever I want, and the leads just come. It's perfect. That's what I do.
That's awesome. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, and that was in Texas, and Texas for 5 years. Then I got divorced in Texas, moved to Chicago because my son is here in Chicago. So that's why I'm here maybe 16, 18 months over here.
Okay.
And
Okay.
now I didn't break the ground here in Chicago yet. I didn't buy anything. because my business is in Texas. I do everything remotely, right? So even when I was in Brazil selling those lots, I was remote doing those things, right? And don't have to be anywhere to buy properties, right? That's
Right.
too easy.
Right. Now,
Doing wraps.
do you still have stuff in Brazil and Australia
Not in
that you manage?
Australia. No, Australia, I have my company there. I closed up the company, sold everything that I had. Brazil, I still have assets there. Like I still have lots because I sold installments. And you probably know if they don't pay, they don't stay. So then I keep getting these lots back and then I still have to sell again and again and again. How tough job. So that's what I do. So I still have like about 20 lots that just keep coming and going. Yeah, and other assets. I have my beach house in Brazil that I go every year, so to
Okay, there you
run
go.
away
Yeah, you gotta
from.
have something.
Yeah, so run away from Chicago's winter. Wow,
Winter, yeah.
that's something.
Yeah, I got you. Well, let's see. Man, where do we go? Um, all right, so we know you got into creative financing from a commercial on TV.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so talk to people that, well, I guess let's break it down. Tell people your in your words what creative financing is.
Okay, creative finance is you be able to do a transaction without to rely on your own money, right? Other people's money, seller will finance, seller will let us take over their payments. That is creative deals. And I love that. And I got spoiled because I never can buy a property with my money ever again. I lend my money, but I don't buy a property.
Right. Right. Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
Exactly.
that is creative finance and it's a win-win for everybody. So I wish everybody would be doing this because life would be a lot easier for a lot of people, not only the seller but to the buyers. I'm not sure if you know, but
Yes.
85% of the population in America cannot qualify for a traditional loan. And the question is
85?
why in the world there's not all investors looking to serve these families that cannot qualify. That's what I'm doing. I'm only one person. If I can get more people to join me and help me with this mission, that's why my company is called We Home 500 because it's my Mount Everest. Not that we're gonna stop in 500, but that's the Mount Everest. When I get there, I am on top of the Mount Everest,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
from there we can decide what to do. But that's what I do.
That's awesome. Okay, well, what are when you're talking, well, you're not talking to them anymore, but when you were talking to sellers, what's some misconceptions that I guess the seller had and how did you debunk, I guess, or get over those questions that they had?
Yeah, so we go over when the seller comes with the objections. Hey, what about the they don't sale? What about if you don't make payments? And I have a presentation that I take over this presentation and showing them what is the reality. And everything is disclosed. 7 days before of the closing, they get a document that says, I am not stupid. I'm not in drugs. I know that I can go to foreclosure if they don't pay. So everything is laid down in a way that they don't, there's no way they come back say, I was deceived because we are doing everything legally inside of the attorney's office. So, and one thing that we put in our clause is if we don't pay for any reason, we miss one payment, the properties revert back to them. They don't even have to foreclose. So there's no chance they not. And then they're going to say, yeah, but I don't want the property back. Yes, but you don't want the property back, but the money I already gave it to you. You keep all the payments that I made and the benefits of to have a house that's better than it was before is yours. And now you can get the property probably more valuable today. You can sell again and keep what you got from me. Yeah, so there's no objection that we can't overcome. There's no, because it's easy. So what do you want to do? You want to go to foreclosure or you want to continue paying two mortgages? The longer you wait, the worse it gets. And absolutely, this has to be with motivated sellers, right? If they're not motivated, doesn't make any sense. You try to beat up the horse, right? Because they're
Right.
not gonna
Yeah.
move.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Nah, that's awesome. Okay, so we went through the creative finance piece. All right. I've been itching to get to this part.
go ahead.
Looking over you and all that. You had a $500,000 deal in Texas.
That's true.
Just talk about that deal. How'd you get it? How'd you structure it? Just everything about the deal.
Okay, so I was doing already houses from like 100 to $250,000 in creative finance was too easy, right? But when I saw Pace 3 o'clock in the morning, Sunday night, live, I said, "Who is this
Yeah.
crazy guy?" And then I couldn't
Yes.
get out of the call. And then he's talk about how he closed this deal $1 million with none of his money. I said, "That's cool. I'm gonna do that." Very
Yes.
shortly after, I got this client that called me from my ads, Facebook ads, and she wants to sell this house that she's asked, "Hey, I want $850,000 and I want cash." I said, "Good
Of
luck,
course you
but
do.
it's not gonna happen here." So, and then she said, and then I started to ask questions, right? How much do you owe to the property? How much how much do you need now? And long story short, I was able to take over her payments of $200,000, get $700,000 financed by the sellers, and 15 years, 4%
Wow.
interest only.
Wow.
So, and that's what I did. And the magic of this $500,000 was because instead of get the property, actually the promissory note against the property, I took against my company. So that means now I would able to do whatever I want with the property, even sell the property, right? And that's
Right.
how I was able to take out like $500,000 working capital.
Wow.
And I sold the property as creative finance. So I did all the above. I took the money out, I sold the property, and I still have $500 cash flow.
There you
Magical.
go.
I got $130,000 payment. I sold the property for 925. I bought for 906. So that means people look, how did you make money there? People will never comprehend how I made money on that property.
Got you.
So my job is make sure that I do the best I can creatively to take advantage of the opportunity. So my entire portfolio is all infinite return. There's no money of my own invested in my properties at all. So
How long did it take from, cause Pace makes it look easy, like, "Hey, I talked to him this morning. I own the house tonight," you know? How long did that whole process take to do that deal?
I am so lucky because I purchased the property in August and the seller stay in the house until December because they said, "Hey, I'm building a house and can I stay?" Yes, please. Until I
Exactly.
figure out what I'm gonna do with your house.
Exactly.
So, and then that they stayed there until December. Then I was in Brazil for a month. That's what I do every year. And then when I came back, I had to start organize the property, fix up the property, sold in March. So I was 3 months making payments, 13,500 a month. Not
Yeah.
bad, not too bad. I spent
Right.
about $20,000 fixing up the property, just refreshing paint, and everything was good. And that's what happened. So no, not too long. Is it
Wow.
scary? People think, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna pay a mortgage for, this much for how many months?" But
Right.
I was
Right.
lucky because they were paying. So that means I didn't have to pay their mortgage, right? The 4% interest only. So, and they are paying the mortgage for the bank and discounting what I had to pay them for the loan. Understand what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah, that's
worked out
awesome.
perfectly.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And like you said, it's a win-win.
And that was my first deal. And you say, seems easy. No, it wasn't easy. It was a nightmare because I was figuring out things along the way. And I made a lot of mistakes. And even though I made those mistakes, I made $500,000 net for me to work on that property. right?
Right.
So if I wouldn't have made all the mistakes, I would have easily another $150,000.
Gotcha.
But it
But
worked out.
you did the thing that most people, the action. Everybody's like, "Hey, I just wanna see I just wanna know everything, but
Mhm.
before I do something." Well,
Yeah,
you actually took the action and was like, "Hey, yeah, I made mistakes, but I'm doing something," and you still made money.
exactly. But that part that you jumped, that is going to be the most important part because that's going to be the biggest lessons that you have to learn for your journey. And I love that phrase, fail fast.
Yeah.
So don't
Yes.
wait. You want to do it, just do it.
Yes.
Do you think, imagine, you're gonna sit down and watch Pace's videos and write down everything. Doesn't matter what I do. If I don't do the thing, I will not
Right.
learn. Doesn't matter.
Exactly.
So I remember when I started in Georgia, when I just got there, I joined a real estate investor association. That's what Robert Kiyosaki also asked us to do. And then I was sitting down one of the meetings next to this guy, and I look his brochure, right? Oh my gosh, his logo, his business card, and the watermark sheet, right? And I said, "Wow, that's amazing." And then I asked him, "Hey, look at that. That's so cool. How long have you been investing?" And he said, for a year now." Okay, great. And then he said, "You?" I said, "For 4 months, probably 3, 4 months." And I said, "How many properties did you get?" He said, "Well, I was getting ready. So now I'm going to start to buy. I already my company. I have my bank account. I have my letterheads and my brochure." And then I said, "Oh my gosh, he's going to ask how many properties I got." And I said, "I got 4 properties." And I didn't have
In a month.
LLC. I didn't have a bank account for my LLC, not even business card. Then
Yeah.
I said, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Yeah.
He looked all professional, but it was all a facade.
Yeah, and in a sense, when he's gonna start, probably gonna take another year because now he's in the field, and now he's gonna start to buy it. I just jumped. I bought my first property and only property I bought through an agent. The only in over 20 years is the first house that I bought was a lake house and was everything wrong with the house. I have pictures of my mother. My friends came from Brazil to help me out, paint the house and fix the house. It was incredible. But I end up making $35,000 is still with all the mistakes that I made.
That's awesome. Let's see. I'm gonna go back. What I know I'm kind of jumping all over the place. What's your portfolio look like now? What all do you have now?
So over through the years, I have done over 200 creative finance deals. My portfolio today is composed of 50 properties, including rentals and notes.
Okay.
And everything that I built was after I come back from Australia. So that
Australia.
5 years
Wow.
building this portfolio.
That's outstanding right there.
Thank you.
Congratulations. If nobody's told you, I'm telling you, great job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Um, okay, so we know everybody knows real estate's highs and lows, ups and downs, ups and downs.
Yep.
You've been in 20 plus years. What your lowest point and what made you say, "Hey, I'm tired of this. I'm done with it. I need to change." Do you recall that moment?
Absolutely. When we come to Texas, when I was for an entire year without getting any deal, I was really tired and I was really thinking about giving up. My husband at times said, "Hey, we have to do something." And I said, "Okay, if by December 2019 I don't get anything, I'm going to find something else. I'm going to quit this thing, nonsense real estate investing thing, not working." So, and then I was doing everything, right? Yellow letter and stuff like that, because I have to figure out what's going to be. So, December 30th of 2019, I got a call from
Okay.
this lady, and she had a house in Fort Worth. And she said, "I want to sell." I said, "I'm coming." Got my husband and said, "Let's go." Got to the house. This lady was in her walker and a respirator. And I said, "Oh my gosh, what are we going to be
Yes.
doing here?" Right? So got in the house. She had a problem with the house because somebody got in squatters was in the house, was terrible condition. But anyways, we negotiated for over 4 hours. And we had to leave that house because it was getting night already, and the house that not electricity, no nothing, because she didn't live in the house. She had the squatters there. And then okay, so let's go. Where are we going to go? Because we're not going to leave this conversation. She said, let's go to my house. I said, okay, let's go to your house. I'm following you. So we went to her house, stayed there, and the total time was about 4 hours. And then everybody's hungry. I said, husband, go get some food. I'm not leaving the site. Let's go. And then
Yes.
woman and negotiating. When I was about to, she said, yes, let's do that. But then the neighbor arrived. The neighbor arrived and she said, neighbor, what do you think? There I go, explain to the neighbor what the deal is. Yeah, I think it's okay. Okay. So then said, okay, let's sign. I said, my daughter and my sister-in-law is coming. Oh no. She's coming. I just want to get her opinion. I said, okay, let's wait another moment. This woman was so mean. Oh my goodness. She was mean. I had to
Really?
explain everything over and over. And she said, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't think you're looking after her. I said, oh my goodness. And pray and pray.
Yes.
And suddenly this woman started to pass out. I said, oh my gosh, what's going on? Don't you die, please. Get the respirator. Give her the respirator.
Yes.
I said, okay, she's alive. Let's go. Long story short, got the contract signed. We leave the house. I said, hallelujah. I saved my career.
That's
That
awesome.
was the toughest time. So, and that was a house that we purchased. And then we lived there for 5 years.
Okay.
For me, it was just business, but my husband wants to live in the house. I said, $100,000 equity there. So I'm going to leave this money until when, right? So, anyways, after the divorce, we finally sold the property
Okay.
creatively. And now I
There
have
you
like
go.
$1,800 monthly cash flow in the house. So, and with equity. So that's good. Paid off.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
but was not easy. Door knocking was very hard. And I couldn't give up. I just go like 3 o'clock, 3:30 because the kids are out school, right? 3:30 and until 7 o'clock. And there was time that I was listening, hearing the dishes, right? They're getting ready for dinner. I said, oh my gosh, now I have to stop. I
Right.
didn't want to go home without talking to somebody, right? And sometimes, and then I was door knocking for his closure. It's very hard list. Yeah,
Got you. Yeah. I've never been a door knocker. I've thought about it, but I just don't think that's me. You got to be a special person. And I'm not saying that it's bad or nothing. I'm saying it's good because you need these people to get out there, and they're the boots on the ground that's really trying to help the
exactly.
people in foreclosure.
Yes.
So yeah, that's just a special person to be able to go door knock.
Yeah. But that, didn't work here in Texas. But in Australia, my first deal in Australia was for a door knocking.
Looky there.
$65,000 later, I was like every single day, Saturday, Sunday, knocking on that door because I spot the real deal. So, and
Right.
finally I got the property. That was awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, I want well, as I've stated earlier, you've been in the highs and the lows. Where do you think real estate is going in the next, I don't know, 3-5 years? What's your thought process?
My thought process, if you focus on the right way of doing business and if you focus on helping others, I don't think you can go wrong. Because just thinking about how many families need homes, and we have a superpower of getting property creatively. That means buying property without money, selling a property for a family with 10% down, and rent market in the area. That means they can afford. If you do the right thing, there's no problems at all. You're always going to continue doing and helping others. That's
Yeah.
what I think.
Hey, that's awesome, and I agree 100% with you. Everybody is talking about the economics. Interest rates aren't going to come down; they're going to always stay high. Well, if you're doing it creatively, do we necessarily care about an interest rate?
No,
You know, so
no,
yeah,
too easy.
I'm with you 100% on that. Okay, let's see. What else? What else do I want to talk about? Tell me about the Child Ambassador program or
Yeah.
talk to me about that. I know it's not real estate, but hey, it's interesting. It's my podcast. I want to hear about it. Let's do it.
So yeah, World Vision. I have been a child ambassador for World Vision over 15 years already. I have helped like hundreds of families because World Vision program, even though you get the picture of a beautiful child and then you're going to be sponsor that child, but the money that goes is to help the community. And what I love about World Vision, because they get into this location, they ask permission to the community leaders and help them to create businesses that's going to sustain the growth of that location. And they don't just come and give food and school material and health for that family and leave. No, they come in and create an environment where they have the pharmacies, where they have the schools, they have all the industry set up with money that is lent to them at zero interest for them to create this business. So they give everything they need to have a town that's going to be work by itself. When that is done, they just leave and go to the next town. That's what I love about World Vision. It's not about
That's
just
awesome.
hand out goodies and go. No, it's helping a family, friend, family, and also the community to be self-sustainable. That's what they do. That's why I'm so passionate. Also, I have
Okay.
another passion.
All right.
I created this community called She Owns that is for empower women own creative finance deals, become financially free. That's what I teach them. This is something that I do for free. I don't charge anything to teach them creative finance. And also, I have a restory, art story. So I help survivors of sexual abuse to reclaim their power and rewrite their story. That's what I do. I have a 13-week program where I take these women by the hand every week, go to a program for 13 weeks, Christ based, and I'm having amazing success. I'm so excited because myself as a survivor and also going through the same process, I was able to heal. So I want to do this for as many women as possible in this world. I have my foundation
Wow.
in Brazil and here as well. That's
Wow.
what I do.
That's awesome. Uh that just says that you're just a great person. You know, not only are you doing real estate, helping sellers and stuff like that get out of bad things, you're helping kids, same thing. You're helping women, the same thing. That's just an awesome person.
Thank you. I don't do it
So
for myself. I do for others.
right, exactly.
I know that I came to this world not to live for myself. I came to live for others. And thank God I found my purpose because it's amazing to
Yes,
get up every morning and think, oh my gosh, I have a purpose.
yes. That is us. Speaking of getting up in the mornings, tell me what's a typical day for you?
Typical
Tell
day.
me what time you get up, what you do during the day, and all that.
I aim to get up at 4, end up getting up like
AM?
5 a.m. Most of the time, end up get up like 5 because, well, a little bit more. And already I give me that bonus. So let's set up for 4. And what I like about go back and sleep a little bit more is because I dream. And when I get up and I can write down the dream, and most of the time they are significant dreams. So that is something that I do. So get up and get ready, go to the gym, 6, 7 o'clock, and then get to work. My calendar, I don't start work until 9. There's no meeting, no nothing for me until 9. Everything that I'm doing is doing on myself, reading, meditating, journaling, exercising, eating, and then go to work. Of course, sometimes you have more work than you need, but then I spend another 1 hour to do that. I teach class for the Restory in Brazil 3 times per week, like 8 o'clock in the morning. That's what I do as well. And go until time is up. for the last meeting. Sometimes I go to real estate investors meetups. I'm not afraid to get like late meetings, like 6, 7, 8 o'clock meetings, but I avoid because I like to go to bed early.
Yeah.
And
You got to if you get up early.
but I end up not going, right? So 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I start to getting ready to go to bed 9.
Yeah.
11 o'clock, I'm probably gonna be sleepy.
Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I know, especially, like with Pace, he's doing all this stuff and he's getting up at 3 in the morning
Mhm.
and doing all this. It's like, when do you sleep? So that's something that I like to know with, a bunch of different investors, well, I mean, it's not, don't even have to be investors, but what is your day like? It's your day. You can make it how you want to make it. So just
Exactly.
curious on that.
Yeah.
Okay, the name of the podcast is the Real Estate Playbook. I'm a sports guy.
Mhm.
All right. Do you like sports?
I used to play volleyball. That's the only
Volleyball.
sport that I played. I played tennis before, but volleyball was my preferred sport.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm a basketball and football guy, but Brazil, you had what? You had Pele down there.
You have soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a
Yes.
story about Pele.
All right. I got to hear it.
Oh my god. When I was in Brazil, I started very early being entrepreneurial, and I became millionaire my and then I got this list of stockholders for a bank, a big bank in Brazil. And these stockholders, they had stocks that they didn't know. Go figure. And then I found this guy, what's his name? Jose, no, Edison Arantes. That's his name, right? And he has thousands and thousands of stocks. They said, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna buy these stocks. It's gonna be amazing." And then I'm tracking this guy and going and I go to the office. And then I get to the office finally to find this guy. And I knock there and talk to the secretary, said, "I'd like to talk to Mr. Edson Arantes." She looked at me like have 3 heads. Then she said, "And who are you?" Then I said, "Look, I want to talk to him about his stocks because he has some stocks in this bank I'd like to buy." "Do you know who Edson Arantes is?" She already figured out that I didn't have any clue who it was. She said, "Stock owners of this stock
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
the
An
house."
guy. I don't know.
She said, "He's Pelé." I said, Pelé, the soccer player? Oh my gosh. And
Wow.
definitely he's not in the office. So
Yeah.
do you have
Yeah.
any message for him? I said, "Not at all. Thank you so much."
Wow.
That's
That's
all
crazy.
crazy. There goes
That is crazy.
thousands of stocks that I've already ready to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. All right. Well, shoot, I don't have any other questions or anything that you need to tell that you'd like to tell people.
Yes, I would love to tell people too, if they want to help families to acquire their homes, that's what I'm doing. I get them to fill up a form. Go to the website wehome500.com and fill the form. Tell me where you want the house, what did the house look like, how much can you afford for down payment, how much can you afford for monthly payment, and I'll find you a house and sell to you as owner finance. You don't have to qualify for the house. I don't care about the credit. I just care that I can put you in a house that you can afford. That's what I need.
That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. If people want to follow you, what's your socials?
Yeah, my socials Eva.m Norris, my Instagram, and Eva Norris on Facebook
Gotcha.
and the
Well,
website. Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on. I enjoyed it. Hey, I love the Pele story. I ain't gonna lie. But yeah, if anybody's got any questions for Eva or myself, you can just hit us up on our socials or comment down below. If you like what I'm doing here, smash the like button and subscribe. I'm gonna continue to bring you big name guests and bring value to your business. So until the next one, thank you, Eva, and I'm out.
Thank you, Lance.